Hello, and welcome to the McKinney-Vento training for teachers and school staff. The purpose of this training is to provide information regarding this federal law and how you can help. Lead area liaisons throughout the state of Illinois are collaborating to create this training. Often when we think of the word homeless, we think of a similar picture such as this: no home, no money, no job, and hungry. Unfortunately, the term homeless is associated with a negative stigma, which leads families to try to hide their situation because they are ashamed and embarrassed. We encourage educators and staff to use the terms in transition, highly mobile, or McKinney-Vento eligible to be sensitive to these family situations. The McKinney-Vento law defines the term homeless much differently than the stereotype. It defines McKinney-Vento eligible children and youth to be those who lack a fixed, regular, and adequate nighttime residence. Let's dig a little deeper into each of these three identifiers. Fixed means a residence that is stationary, permanent, and not subject to change nor easily moved. Living in an RV or car would not be classified as fixed since they are easily moved. So the student living in this RV would qualify as being McKinney-Vento eligible. Regular. It means a residence that is used on a regular basis. If this teenager has been kicked out of his home and is couch surfing, staying with various friends, then he would be considered McKinney-Vento eligible. Also, a child that makes several moves in a short period of time would be eligible. Adequate. An adequate residence is one that is sufficient for meeting both the physical and psychological needs typically met in home environments. This would include situations of overcrowding with too many people for the square footage, homes with inadequate heating, lack of electricity, plumbing, or running water, and even bug infestations would also be eligible. If a home has been hit by a disaster like a fire or flood, there are no income guidelines. This family is considered McKinney-Vento eligible. The families that tend to be fairly easy to identify might be sleeping in a tent or in a shelter, sleeping at a motel, or staying at any place that isn't designated for people to reside in, such as a laundromat. The families that are harder to identify are the ones that are doubled up or couch surfing. Families often are staying with friends or other family members because they cannot afford a place of their own. Teens who have left their homes for whatever the reason other than educational advantage, who may be hopping from place to place or staying with a friend or relative, are unaccompanied youth and McKinney-Vento eligible. So why is identifying these students important? Because we cannot serve and support these students if we don't know who they are. It is both a federal and a state law. Identifying students does affect the funding that will come to your ROE or ISC, and thus is there to help support these students. So what can you do? Listen and look for clues from students, because often they will try to hide that they are in transition. Are students mentioning that they are sleeping in different places during the week? Are they wearing the same clothes every day? Are they telling you their home is not adequate, for example, no running water or electricity? Are there many people living in the same house or apartment? If so, pass on this information to your district homeless liaison so that they can gather more information and make the final determination on eligibility. Above all, we want to offer support without judgment. So once they are identified and are McKinney-Vento eligible, what is the school's responsibility? Enroll immediately, even without unnecessary enrollment documents. All fees must be waived. McKinney-Vento eligible students must get free lunch and breakfast. Ensure access to all services, including Title I, sports, and extracurricular activities. Connect students to services they might need, such as tutoring and counseling. Provide transportation to school of origin if requested by a caregiver, and assist the family getting all the necessary paperwork. The goal is to remove all barriers to education created by homelessness. What are the caregiver and student's rights? The student is allowed to attend the school of origin, which is the school the child or youth was attending when he or she became McKinney-Vento eligible, or they can attend the school they were last attending, or the student can attend the school district where the student is currently residing. School officials should have discussions with caregivers on what is in the best interest of the child to make placement decisions. Ultimately, it is the caregiver's choice where the child attends. Here are some noteworthy facts to keep in mind. Custody does not need to be awarded by the court for enrollment. Parents do not need to sign guardianship documents for the student to be enrolled. An unaccompanied youth may register without a parent. Once a student is McKinney-Vento eligible, they remain identified as McKinney-Vento eligible for the entire school year, even if their living situation becomes permanent. A student's McKinney-Vento eligibility status must be treated as a confidential school record, as FERPA laws apply. In closing, it is important to remember when a child's world is turned upside down, school may be the most stable environment they have. Prompt enrollment and attendance can provide a nurturing and supportive atmosphere for the student. If you have any questions about the McKinney-Vento law or think a student might be eligible, contact your school district liaison. Thank you.